Rest now. This is Pillowside Night Stories. Rain on cobblestones. The kind that turns street lamps into soft blurs and soaks through wool. Steady since afternoon. You are standing outside an old lending library. The hours posted say it closes at 7. It is nearly half past, but there is light inside, and the door, when you try it, is not locked. In your coat pocket, there is a folded slip of paper, an address written in pencil, a few words beneath it, the one with the card catalog. You found it last night, tucked inside a book you borrowed from a station bookstall. You do not know who wrote it, but here you are. You push the door open and step inside. The sound of the rain becomes muffled, distant. A long oak counter at the far end, with a green shaded lamp casting a circle of light. Behind the counter, a woman. Gray hair, cut short and practical. A cardigan the color of oatmeal, buttoned once at the collar. Her hands are moving as you enter, squaring a stack of index cards, aligning them with the edge of the wood. She looks up. Her eyes find yours across the length of the hall. Then they move to the book in your hand. The sea memoir. The one you took from the station bookstall last night. She does not ask where you got it. She does not ask your name. She simply sets down the cards, opens a narrow drawer beneath the counter, the drawer sliding on wooden runners with a soft sound, and pulls out a blank borrower's card. Cream-colored, lined, the edges sharp. She sets it on the counter. Umbrella stand is by the door, she says. Coat hooks on the left. Her voice is even. Not warm, exactly. Not cold. Just precise. The voice of someone who has said these words many times. You turn back toward the entrance. There is an umbrella stand, brass, the rim slightly dented from decades of use. 4 or 5 umbrellas lean against each other inside, in various states of dampness. One is still dripping onto the tile floor. You add yours. It slides between the others with a soft click. Water drips from the fabric. More drops join the small puddle that has already formed on the tile. The coat hooks are wooden pegs mounted on a board beside the door. 2 coats already hang there. A navy raincoat, still damp. A heavier wool coat, nearly dry. You slip off your own coat. The weight of it leaves your shoulders with a relief you did not expect. The wool is heavy with rain, heavier than it felt when you were wearing it. Dark patches show where the water has soaked through. You hang it on an empty peg and watch the fabric drip once, twice, onto the tile below. Your shoulders feel lighter without it. Your neck feels longer. You did not realize how much you had been carrying until you set it down. When you turn back, the woman is watching you. Not staring, just observing. The way someone might watch a clock or a window. She has seen people come through that door for 30 years. The main hall is open until I close it, she says. Which will be when I finish. She returns to her cards, squares them again, sets them in a small wooden box on the counter, a box with compartments labeled by letter. The blank borrower's card remains where she placed it. You walk toward the counter. Your footsteps are quiet on the wooden floor. The boards are old, worn smooth in paths where generations of borrowers have walked. From the door to the counter, from the counter to the shelves, from the shelves to the reading tables by the windows. The wood has a patina that only comes from use, a softness underfoot that is different from new wood. The rain taps against the tall windows, softer than it sounded outside, filtered through glass that has seen a century of weather. You stop at the counter. The green shaded lamp casts a warm circle of light onto the wood. The counter itself is oak, worn smooth along the edge, where generations of borrowers have leaned. You can see the shallow groove where elbows have rested, the soft dip where hands have lain while waiting for cards to be stamped. The woman looks up. Her eyes move to the C memoir in your hand, then to the pocket where the folded note sits. She does not ask about either. Name, she says. You tell her. She picks up a pencil from a cup on the counter. The pencil is short, sharpened many times, the wood worn pale where fingers have held it over the years. She writes her name on the blank card. Her handwriting is small and precise, each letter formed with care. No flourishes, just clear, legible letters. Below your name, she writes, today's date. Then she opens a different drawer, takes out a date stamp, brass, the rubber worn but still functional. She presses it to an ink pad, red ink, presses it to the card. Thump. The sound is soft but definite. The sound of something being made official. The sound of a record being made. She blows on the ink once, gently, to help it dry. Then she slides the card across the counter toward you. You take it. The cardstock is firm between your fingers. Your name in her handwriting. Today's date in red. Temporary borrower's card, she says. Good for 1 month. She gestures toward the main hall. Her hand moves with the same economy as everything else she does. No wasted motion. The catalog is against the east wall. The reading tables are by the windows. She pauses, looks at the C memoir in your hand. Or You can keep that one a while longer. No one's asked for it in years. You stand in the main hall, holding your new card. The ink is still damp. You can smell it, faintly, beneath the smell of old paper and wood polish. Red ink, today's date, your name in pencil above it. You turn the card over. The back is blank. Just cardstock, slightly rough to the touch. You run your thumb along the edge, feeling the sharpness of the cut. You choose a reading table near the middle window. Sit down. The chair is wooden, straight-backed, the seat worn smooth. The wood is warm to the touch. The woman has returned to her work. Before her, a large ledger lies open. Its pages are filled with columns of handwriting. Names, dates, titles. Some entries in blue ink, some in black, some in pencil that has faded to gray over the years. She is adding a new entry. You watch her hand move, the pencil making small, precise marks. She writes a name, a date, a title, checks something against an index card, makes a small notation in the margin, then moves to the next line. She does not hurry. She does not pause to think. She knows what she is writing. She has written it thousands of times. Her hand moves at the same pace, line after line. On the counter beside her, a small stack of books waits. Returns. Each one has a card sticking out from between its pages, marking where the due date was stamped. She takes the top book from the stack, opens it to the card, reads something there, her lips moving slightly, makes a note in the ledger, removes the card, and places it in the wooden box with the alphabet compartments. Closes the book and sets it aside on a cart behind her that will go back to the shelves in the morning. Then she takes the next book. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The rhythm does not change. It does not speed up or slow down. It simply continues. The same pace, the same motions. You watch her hands, the way they move from ledger to card to book, the way they know exactly where everything belongs. She lifts another book from the stack. This one heavier, the cover darker. She opens it, reads the card. Her pencil moves across the ledger page. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The pencil point touches the paper. A small sound. The scratch of graphite on cream-colored stock. She checks the point against her thumbnail, a habit so practiced she does not notice herself doing it. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The wooden box with the alphabet compartments receives another card. The card slides into place behind the others. A soft click of paper against paper. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The drawer runners beneath the counter are smooth from use. Each time she opens a drawer, the sound is the same. Wood gliding against wood. A soft exhale of old air from inside the compartment. She takes the next book. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. A page corner has been turned down in one of the returns. She smooths it flat with her thumb before closing the book. A small correction. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. She does not look up, but she knows you are there. Mrs. Whitfield borrows the Bronte essays every November, she says, still working. Has since 1987. Same copy. Same time of year. She says they help her through the dark months. She turns another page in the ledger. The Harrison boy, he's 43 now, still takes the sea stories when the weather turns. His father did the same, and his father before that. 3 generations of Harrisons reading the same books about the same water. She finishes an entry, sets down the pencil. Same books, same families, year after year. She picks up the pencil again, returns to her work. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The rain taps against the tall windows. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. She reaches another book. Opens it. The card inside is old. The edges soft from handling. The due date stamped in purple ink has faded to a pale violet. She makes a note, removes the card, places it in its compartment, closes the book. Open. Read. Note. Remove. Close. Set aside. The rhythm continues. The same motions, the same intervals, the sound of paper against paper, the soft thump of a book being set on the cart. Open, read, note, remove, close, set aside. She reaches the last book in the stack, opens it, reads the card, makes the final notation in the ledger, removes the card, places it in the wooden box, closes the book, and sets it on the cart. The stack is empty now. She squares the ledger pages with the flat of her hand, checks the alignment of the wooden box, adjusts the position of the pencil cup, though it did not need adjusting. Small completions, small confirmations that everything is where it should be. Against the north wall, a shelf labeled reserved. Parcels wrapped in brown paper. One has a note, Thursday delivery. You turn back to your table, set the sea memoir in front of you, but you do not read. Not yet. You sit and you listen to the rain on the windows, and you watch the woman at her counter. Open, read, note, remove, close, set aside. Open, read, note, remove, close, set aside. The rhythm continues. The light outside has faded to almost nothing when the woman stands. She closes the ledger on the counter. The sound is soft, leather on wood, the pages whispering as they come together. She places the pencil back in its cup, point up, exactly where it was before. Everything in its place. Everything where it belongs. Then she crosses the room toward you. Her footsteps are quiet on the wooden floor. She walks in the paths the floorboards have worn smooth over the decades. From the counter to the shelves. From the shelves to the tables. Her feet know where to step. Her body knows the distances. She stops beside your chair. You look up. She is holding something. A slim volume, smaller than the sea memoir. Bound in cloth, the color of moss, the kind of green that exists only in old fabric that has been handled gently over many years. No title visible on the cover. The cloth is soft with age, worn at the corners where hands have held it. Similar pace, she says. Different water. She sets the book on the table, beside the sea memoir. You look at it. Look at her. She does not explain how she knew what kind of reader you are. She does not explain how she knew you needed something slower, something gentler, something that moves at the pace of water, instead of the pace of the world. She simply sets it down, the way you might set down a glass of water for someone who has not asked for one but clearly needs it. "The main ledger," she says. "Would you like to see it?" You nod. She turns and walks back toward the counter. You follow. The ledger is large, perhaps 2 feet wide when open, bound in dark leather that is cracked at the spine from years of use. The leather is smooth where hands have held it, textured where they have not. The pages are thick, cream-colored, the edges slightly browned with age. She opens it to a page near the back, where the entries are still fresh. The pages fall open easily, finding a natural rest. The spine has learned where readers want to look. You look at the page. Columns of handwriting. Names you do not recognize. Dates stretching back months, years. Each line a person who walked through that door, stood at that counter, took home a book, and returned it. She turns to an earlier page. Her fingertip holds the corner lightly as the page lifts and settles. The handwriting is different here, older, more formal. The ink has faded to sepia in places. The nib pressure heavier, the letters more deliberate. "This is 1952, she says. "The year my mother started working here." Her finger traces the column of names. People long gone, books long returned, but the record remains. She turns more pages. The paper whispers. 1948. 1941. 1937. The handwriting changes as the librarians change. One page has been repaired with thin archival tape along the edge, nearly invisible unless you look closely. The tape has yellowed slightly with age, but holds firm. Another page shows a water stain in one corner, faded now to the color of weak tea. But the columns stay the same. Name, date, title, the same columns, filled in by different hands, year after year. Some names appear in winter, some in autumn when the rain holds, some every few months, regular as seasons. She stops at a page near the middle of the book. 1963. One entry catches your eye. A name you do not know, but a title you do. A year on the water. Borrowed. The 14th of March, 1963. Returned. The 2nd of April, 1963. The ink has faded to a soft brown. The handwriting is different from Miss Ashworth's, more formal, more careful. A lighter hand on the pen, smaller loops on the letters. But the columns are the same. Name, date, title. The same book you are holding now. The same book that sat in a station bookstall for 60 years before you picked it up. Borrowed once, she says. 60 years ago. Then it went to the station, part of a donation. Someone thought the travelers might want something to read while they waited for their trains. She pauses. No one has checked it out since. Until now. She closes the ledger. The pages fall together with a soft sound. The leather cover settles against the pages. A name written down is one way of being expected. She says it simply, not as wisdom, not as comfort, just as fact. The way you might say the library closes at 7, or the annex is through the back door. She carries the ledger to a shelf behind the counter, places it where it belongs, spine aligned with the edge of the wood. Then she crosses to a narrow door at the back of the hall. You had not noticed it before. It is painted the same color as the paneling around it, nearly invisible unless you know where to look. The kind of door that only regulars would know about. The kind of door that has to be shown to you. She opens it without ceremony. The annex is quiet this evening, she says. The memoirs are in there. Gardening essays. Local histories. The kind of books that do not ask much. She holds the door open. Through it, you can see a smaller room. A single window, tall and narrow, showing rain falling on a garden wall outside. The bricks of the wall are old, darkened with moisture. Ivy climbs along one edge, the leaves wet and shining. A radiator beneath the window, the old cast iron kind, already giving off heat. One chair, leather, worn smooth at the arms. The kind of chair that has held many readers over many years. Take the chair by the window, she says. I will be at the front desk for another hour. Perhaps longer. There is no hurry. She does not say good night. She simply holds the door until you pass through. The threshold is worn down slightly, a shallow dip in the wood where decades of feet have crossed. You step over it and into the smaller room. The air is different here. Warmer. More still. Then she returns to the counter, and you hear her footsteps fade as the door swings gently closed behind you. The room is smaller than the main hall. Perhaps 15 feet by 20. The ceiling is lower here, closer. The light is different, softer, more private. The single window takes up most of the far wall. The glass is old, the kind that has a slight waviness to it, distorting the world outside into something gentle and uncertain. The rain runs down in long, uneven trails, following paths that the water has taken for decades, paths worn into the very surface of the glass by thousands of storms. Outside, the garden wall is barely visible, bricks darkened by rain, ivy that has grown for years without being cut, a small patch of gray sky above, growing darker by the minute. The shelves here are lower than in the main hall, perhaps 5 feet tall, leaving space above them for the ceiling to breathe. The books on them are older, their spines faded to soft colors, their covers cloth and leather instead of bright paper. Memoirs, gardening essays, local histories. The chair is where she said it would be, by the window. Leather, the color of old tobacco, cracked at the edges, but not torn. The seat has a depression in the center, where someone has sat for hours, year after year. The arms are smooth where hands have lain. You can see the slight discoloration, the patina that comes from skin and time. Whoever sat here before you sat here often, sat here long enough to leave their mark. The radiator beneath the window is already warm. You can feel its heat from across the room. The metal ticks occasionally as it expands and contracts. A small sound, a familiar sound. You cross to the chair. The floor here has been walked less than the main hall. The paths are narrower, more private. This room has not been walked by thousands. You sit. The leather gives beneath you. The depression in the seat fits you, not perfectly, but well enough. The arms support your elbows at exactly the right height. The back rises behind you at exactly the right angle. You shift your weight once. Find a better position. The leather creaks softly, then goes quiet. Your weight settles into the cushion. The warmth from the radiator reaches your ankles first, then your calves. The heat rises slowly, meeting the cool air that still clings to your clothes from the walk through the rain. You set the 2 books on the small table beside the chair. The sea memoir first, with its soft cover and its small boat on rough water. Then the moss-colored volume she gave you, its cloth binding smooth beneath your fingers. You place them side by side, then move them slightly apart, then nearer together again. Your borrower's card is still in your hand, You slide it beneath the edge of the sea memoir, a bookmark for later, a marker that says, "You were here." The radiator ticks. The rain taps the glass. You pick up the new book. Open it. The pages are thin, almost translucent. The print is small and dense. A different era of publishing, when paper was precious and words were packed tightly onto every page. The margins are narrow. The lines are close together, but the words themselves are unhurried. Essays on rivers, the Thames, the Severn, the Avon, the Wye. Each chapter a different water, a different mood, a different way of moving through the world. The writing is dense but unhurried, the kind of prose that rewards slow reading. You read the first paragraph. The sentences are unhurried. A man describing the way light falls on a river at dusk. The sound of water over stones. The particular green of willows in late summer. The smell of mud and reeds at low tide. Similar pace. Different water. You read another paragraph, then a third. The writer describes walking along the Thames near Oxford. The spires of the colleges appearing and disappearing through the mist. The crews rowing in the early morning, their oars moving in unison. The wake from a single skull flattening out behind it, ripples spreading until they are no longer ripples at all. The radiator pings beneath the window. A small sound, metal contracting as the heat shifts. Then silence. Then another ping. You turn a page. The writer talks about mud banks at low tide. The way the mud holds footprints for hours after a walker has passed. The birds that wait for the water to recede. The smell of the river when the sun hits the exposed banks. A smell that is not unpleasant, just particular. The rain continues on the glass. Softer now than it was when you arrived. The sound has become a texture, a background, something you notice only when you stop to listen. You read another page. The reeds along the riverbank. The way they move in the wind, all in the same direction, like a single creature breathing. The nests hidden among the stalks. The sound of water against the stems, a soft, continuous rustle that is almost like silence. Through the door, you can hear faint sounds from the main hall. A drawer sliding. Papers being squared. The soft thump of a stamp on cardboard. Miss Ashworth at her work, The same work she has done every evening for 30 years. The same rhythm, the same pace. You turn a page. The book talks about a stretch of the Severn where the current slows to almost nothing, where the water is so still you can see the sky reflected in it, clouds moving across the surface like slow thoughts, where the willows grow so thick along the banks that the light turns green and gold. Your eyes move down the page, then up again, then down. The words on the page blur slightly. Your eyes are still moving, but slower now. The sentences run together at the edges. You read the same line twice without noticing. On the small table beside you, your borrower's card lies where you set it. Cream-colored, lined, your name in pencil. Today's date in red ink. You pick it up, turn it over. The back is blank. Just cardstock, slightly rough to the touch. But the front has your name on it. Your name, written in Miss Ashworth's careful handwriting. Your name entered into the system. Your name on file. You run your thumb along the edge. Feel the sharpness of the cut. You set the card back on the table. Through the window, the rain has slowed. The garden wall is clearer now, the bricks distinct, the ivy dark against the mortar. A small light burns in a window across the way, someone else's evening. You watch it for a moment. The light goes out. You return to the book. You read 2 pages, then 3. The essays move from the Thames to smaller streams, brooks that run through farmland, creeks that disappear in summer and return in autumn. The writer talks about following one particular stream, from its source to the place where it joins a larger river. A journey of 3 days, sleeping in hedgerows, eating bread bought from a village shop. You turn another page. The writer describes a ferry crossing at dusk. The water dark beneath the boat. The far bank a line of trees against a gray sky. The ferryman who does not speak, only pulls the boat across with slow, even strokes. The radiator pings again. The intervals are longer now. You read a passage about a mill pond. The still water. The wheel no longer turning. The building beside it empty now, but the water still held, still waiting for something that will not come. Your eyes move down the page, then up again. then down. The words are still there, but they are softer now. The sentences run together at the edges. You read the same line twice without noticing. From the main hall, you hear a drawer closing. Then footsteps, soft on the wooden floor. Then nothing. Miss Ashworth is finishing her work. Soon she will turn off the lamp at the counter. Soon she will check the locks on the front door. You close the book. The pages fall together with a soft sound, the thin paper whispering as it settles. You set it on the table beside the sea memoir. 2 books now. One you brought with you. One she gave you. They lie side by side on the small table, their spines facing the window. The card with your name on it is still beneath the edge of the sea memoir, where you placed it earlier. Lean your head back against the leather of the chair. The leather is cool against the back of your neck, then warm as it takes your heat. The chair has held many heads in this same position. The leather has softened where the weight of skulls has pressed. You can feel the slight indentation, the place where your head belongs. The rain has nearly stopped. Just a few drops now, tapping the glass at long intervals. The garden wall is still. The light in the window across the way has gone out. The world outside has become quiet. The radiator ticks. Once, a long pause. Then once again, the annex has grown darker. Not because the light has changed. There was little light to begin with. But your eyes have stopped looking for things to see. The shelves with their faded spines, the window with its rain-streaked glass, the small table with its 2 books and 1 card. They are still there. You know they are. But you have stopped tracking them. The radiator ticks beneath the window. The intervals have grown longer. The heat rises in waves you cannot see but can feel, reaching your ankles first, then your calves, then the backs of your knees, where they press against the leather. In the main hall, a drawer slides closed. The sound is distant now, muffled by the door between you. Miss Ashworth, putting the last cards away. The wooden box being set in its place. The ledger being placed on its shelf, spine aligned with the edge of the wood. A chair pushed back from the counter. The creak of the stool she has sat on for 30 years. The small tasks that end every evening in this library. Each thing returning to where it belongs. each drawer finding its close, each surface cleared and squared and made ready for morning. The lamp on the counter goes out. You do not see it happen, but the quality of the darkness changes slightly, the ambient glow through the doorframe growing dimmer, the main hall falling into shadow, the tall shelves becoming darker shapes against a darker background. The books on those shelves wait in their rows, alphabetized, cataloged, each one in its place on the spine, each one knowing exactly where it belongs. Footsteps cross the wooden floor, soft on the worn paths, moving toward the front of the building. A coat being lifted from a hook. The umbrella stand shifting as something is removed. The heavy door opening. A brief rush of cool air from outside, carrying the smell of wet pavement and the distant sound of a car passing. Then the door closing, solid, final. The click of the lock turning. Then silence. The radiator ticks. On the table, the card is still there. You can feel it more than see it now. The edge of cream-colored stock. Your name in pencil. Today's date in red ink. The leather has softened beneath you. Your weight has found its place in the depression of the seat. The radiator gives another tick. Then a longer pause. Then another tick, fainter than before. The rain has stopped. The window is dark now. Just glass and the faint reflection of the room behind you. The garden wall has disappeared. The ivy, the bricks, all of it gone. The edge of the table is somewhere to your left. The card edge no longer distinct under your fingers. The two books are still there. The cloth of one, the paper of the other. The radiator tick comes from further away now. Or perhaps you have stopped counting the intervals. The chair no longer feels like chair. Only support. Only warmth. The leather beneath your arms. The heat from beneath the window. The radiator tick. Then a pause. The building is finished for the night. The cards are filed. The ledger is closed. The door is locked. And somewhere in that quiet, without marking the moment it happens. The mind follows,